Hello YouTubes, this is Grimweird coming back at you with more Enigmatica 2 Expert Mod Pack playthrough action for Minecraft 1.12.2. As always, we are joined by our ferocious avatar, Zombie Steve, now in his dragon scale armor. And so I wasn't exactly sure what to do next, so I've been mostly just playing with toys. When I was looking at what we could do with the end pearls or the shulker pearls, I saw that there was this pearled ender hopper. So I thought I'd make one of those just to see how I liked it. One of the things you can do is if you right click it with an open hand, it'll make those little purple lines, and that'll show you the area that it is going to suck items up through. So that's sort of cool. And it basically acts like a vacuum chest, but it will put things into whatever thing that you put out there. So like if we toss that stone out there, boink, it disappears. And if we look, it has gone into there. And near as I can tell, there's not really any kind of facing to it. Let's see if we... Not throwing it far enough. There it goes. There's not any kind of facing in it, so it's on the other side of the chest, but it doesn't care. It basically, you can put it on any side of the chest, and it works. And it'll show you the area. So I like that. It's sort of cool if you're in game and you have that kind of material. And that's this guy, which is basically just a bunch of pearls around this guy, which is a hopper and 2 obsidian, and then an unstable ender pearl, which is just some wither dust and an ender pearl. So wither dust and an ender pearl isn't too hard to get. And I think the pearled one says that it instantly teleports nearby items into the attached container. It's an upgrade to the ender hopper. This version will not create particles. So I'm not sure. I didn't make one of these, or I did, but I just immediately crafted it. Teleports, blah, blah, blah. Sneak and right click. Yeah, so I don't know what the particles are. Maybe it's just, I don't know if it's talking about a visual effect or what. But anyway, bottom line is sort of a cool little doodad. I had also completely forgotten about making a wireless crafting terminal for our AE2 system. So originally when I had set up our AE2 system, if we look at the recipe for this, it requires a bunch of Fluix pearls, which is a bunch of ender pearls, and I just didn't have a lot of them. And then by the time I got set up my Enderman farm and etc., I had sort of just forgotten about this and gotten so used to just running over to a terminal all the time that I didn't even think about it much. But I finally did make one of these. It does have some nice things. You can put a magnet card in it, which then lets you suck things around you into your AE network, which is sort of cool. And you can toggle it through various different things. For deactivating it, adding it to your inventory, leaving it on the ground, or etc. So I'm not exactly sure what I want to do here, but I think when it says extra items added to inventory, I assume that means to your AE inventory. There's also a infinity card there, which sounds delightful. I don't know what it is, but if it's infinity wireless, in other words, you can use it from anywhere. I want one. However, I do actually have 2 singularities that I got from loot chests. But then you also need a bunch of other stuff that Well, I know I can make most of this stuff, so actually I could make all that. I could eventually make this stuff, maybe. I don't know about clathrite. Yeah, it's only on other planets. So anyway, bottom line is I don't think I can make it yet, but I think you may find them very rarely from someplace in the world, chests or whatnot. But right now I'm just happy to be able to do crafting from standing right here. So when I thought about that, I also thought that there are various wireless things which I wanted to investigate. So I also made, now this one is from AE2 Stuff. So this is a wireless connector. And yeah, I slapped it onto this line. It didn't actually add a channel to this line, but what you can do is you can then click on it with the wireless setup kit. So I clicked on that and I made another one of them. And I put it, as you can sort of follow the blue line off into the distance. So I put it over into our area around our fusion reactor. So I went ahead and put it over in this corner. And so that is the linked one. And then I slapped a wireless access point on it. And now that did use up a channel on that 32 dense cable back at my base. But basically I can now access my thing here because I have that wireless access point here. So that's pretty cool. And if we look at AE2, the anchors take a Fluix Pearl, so that's going to be an ender. But basically the anchors for the wand and the two connectors are going to be 3 ender pearls. So that's something to think about for possible use. Something I probably should have built several episodes ago if I'd have thought of it. What other toys did I make? So another thing I want to do was I had seen people using a mod called compact machines. And basically you basically can make a block which is a pocket dimension, like Doctor Who's TARDIS, and then you can set up stuff inside it, set up machines inside it. And so I'm thinking that, that's be an excellent place for something like our Industrial Craft 2 Nuclear Reactor that we've got going on. That's currently, out here in the strip mine. So I've currently got it out here, and it's stable, so I'm not too worried about it blowing up now that I know what I'm doing a bit. But it would be fun to have it in my base. But maybe I'll make a little compact room and put it in there. And so if we want to look at that, basically you create a personal shrinking device, this bad boy, which acts as both your manual and also sort of your equivalent of a wrench, in that you use it to click on things to enter and exit your little pocket dimension compact machine spaces. But it also serves as your thing. And then you can also, if we take a look here, I'm just going to go straight to the big one just for fun. So this big one is going to be, if we hold shift, it's a 13 by 13 by 13 room. Now you construct these, you can see the wireframe there. Basically it's a big old thing of 98 of these compact machine walls, and then there's a hollow spot in the middle with a diamond block in the middle. And so you create this out in the world, and then you shrink it into this, a one block thing that you can interact with as a pocket dimension. So you assemble this in a miniaturization field, and then you throw an ender pearl at the miniaturization field, and then you get this out. So I thought that would be a fun thing to do for this episode. So it is going to be a 5x5. We need 98 of these bad boys. To make these, we need, and I hadn't thought this far ahead, let's see, 98 divided by 16 is several. Not in the mood to do math in my head. But we should have a bunch of iron blocks because I've been sort of condensing things. We've got 8,243 iron blocks, so that's probably enough. And then we've got redstone. Grab some of that. So each of these ones, it's going to be 16, 32, 48, 64, stack and a half. Yeah. So we're going to need about 7 recipes of this to be safe. That's as close to math as I'm going to get. And basically what you do is you set up a miniaturization field, you put down the block of iron, you put a spot of redstone on it, and then you stand back and throw redstone at it, and it turns into 16 compact machine walls. And we'll do that several times, and then we will build this bad boy, which is going to be 98 of those with a block of emerald in the middle. So let's grab one of those. And we will build that. Now, the miniaturization field is made by these miniaturization field projectors. And to make this monster, we sort of want a big miniaturization field. I think it has to be, of course, at least a 5x5 field, but it also needs to have space above and beyond that so that you can throw your ender pearl on it and land it. So we need something at least like 6x6x6. So that will sort of dictate where we set up the miniaturization field. And I think I might try and do this outside just because it's a pain in the butt to do it in here. So I've got those 4 on me. Let's go ahead and try and do that outside. What time of it? It's a sunrise, so that's perfect. Have I got everything I need? I believe so. Alright, let's head upstairs and try and find a flat spot to put this. Let's see, flat spot. This will probably work. Make sure there's no monsters around to interrupt us. Especially creepers. Okay, so I haven't never done this before, but I think we're going to end up doing something like this. We know we got to get it up a ways off the ground, so I'm just going to put it up in the air, and if we need to then build up in the middle, we can do that as well. But I'm going to throw this down. Gives you an arrow, so that's nice. We want it pointed that direction. And now I think I read that you can right click on this and it'll show you places that you can put other ones. So we could put it out to here, any of these places. I don't think we need one that huge. So we're only going to need roughly 6x6 in the middle. I don't know how huge to make it. I guess let's try and make it the biggest size because then we can make sure we have room, I guess. I'm not exactly sure where that is, but since those arrows don't last forever, we will just, is that about right sized? Okay, well, we'll just give it a try. Oh, so close. So we're going to go doink and doink. And then click on this. It'll show us 2 other spots. So we want, and I didn't see how high to make it. I think I went one too high. Yes. So then we'll have this one facing that way. Roughly there. Double check again real quick. Alright, so we basically want it right there. Get this stuff out of the way. And then, oh no, invalid blocks in the way. I think we probably need to set it up higher. I think it actually beams down too. So I'm going to bet you 1, 2, 3. Well, let's go ahead and just try and clear out some spot. Hopefully there's not too much of this in the way. If we have to go much down much further than one level, maybe we'll just find it. Maybe we'll just raise up the projectors a bit. See what it says. Still being blocked, so I think we need to take out basically all of this junk. I should have set that up ahead of time, but figured we might as well work through the bugs together. And again, if there was going to be much more space than this, I would probably just raise up the projectors on higher columns rather than try to remove material. But I bet you this is close. All right, we're not going to take off another level, so I'm going to go ahead and raise this up. And since all of this is beaming back down to my ME system, I will pause here and get this set up and be right back. Okay, and I am back, and I slept so the rain would go away. And this is, I believe, the max size of miniaturization field, which we do not need. I think the biggest structures you have are 5 by 5 by 5, so I think the biggest you would probably need would be like a 6 by 6. So this field is probably overkill. But I thought I'd set it up as big as I need it, or as big as it gets. That way we never have to try and expand it later if we need to. But yeah, I just needed to bring these up. I brought them up 2 more, and that gave us room on the floor. And then I just filled it in to make it flat. So let's try this. I've never done this, but I think we're just doing this and that. And then I guess we probably have to be out of the field here. See what happens if we do that. Then maybe, I don't know, maybe we need to click on something. Okay, it's saying there's a recipe for the machine wall. Maybe we needed to do that and then throw something at it. Aha! It's shrinking. Cool. Let's try it again. So it looks like we need to make the wall recipe. Go right click on the machine with our personal shrinking device. Get the OK that it's that recipe. And then I think we apparently have to actually land on it. Freaked out a bit there. I think we have to be outside of the field. Yep, so we got to be outside of the field and then we have to sort of hit it. So that's one reason to not make the maximum size one. I probably would rather just set this up as 6x6. But I'll get the hang of this. So then I'll double check and see if we actually need to do that next time. Yeah, apparently we do need to come click on the machine to verify the recipe. Or maybe I didn't get out of the field. Do not throw your personal machine on it, your personal shrinking device on it. Bombs away! Alright, I think we only have to do a few more of these. Okay, I'm definitely out of the field here. But I'm close enough to, with block reach. Alright, so I don't have to click on the machine. I just got to make sure that I'm outside of the field and then I have to hit it. But you can check on block, or you can click on the machine to verify the recipe. So how many is that? We need, what was it, 98 I think for our recipe that we want to make. And we are at 96, so one more. This would be easier if you didn't have to get out of range. Yeah, I think that's my takeaway from this, is like, don't make the maximum size field. I think you probably could get away with just, let's see, what would that be? That would be 6x6. Well, you probably can't have a 6x6 because it's even number, but you could have a 7x7. So I would probably only do, that's like 7 blocks, so I'd probably only do a field that covered 7x7. And that would be easier to get in and out of and easier to throw things at your targets and yada yada. But let's build our structure here. So we want a 5x5. So we got plenty of room for that. I guess that's the good thing about doing this way. With the huge ass miniaturization field. So it's 4x5. Not exactly sure how much space is supposed to be in the middle. Let's build up the walls and figure it out. That's what, 4 high? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully we'll be able to tell by how many blocks we have if we need to fill in more in the middle or just put the emerald block in the middle. So we got 24 left. That's going to be 9 up top. I think it's all empty except for the thing. So we got 1, 2, so I think that will be the middle. And we've probably got to remove that. So I think that looks right. Yeah, that looks right. And maybe we can click on this and it'll tell us. Recipe for maximum compact machine. Sweet. And I forgot to bring an ender pearl, didn't I? Yes. Let's go grab an ender pearl real quick. So let's just bring a bunch in case I miss. Fly, darn it. Should be able to hit this one. Nice. I gotta say, this is pretty darn cool. I don't know how necessary it is to put things into these little compact rooms, but it's pretty cool that I'm going to have a 13 by 13 by 13 room that is represented in the overworld by 1 block. So let's go back down to the base and test this sucker out. So for right now, I think I'll put it, let's put it right there, I think. So that reminds me, so to get power inside your room, you have to build a tunnel, a tunnel that goes from the inside to the outside. So you can see this flux point is not attaching to it. So I want to take with us a compact tunnel. Redstone signals. So I think we just want the tunnel, not a redstone signal. Oh, and you gotta make the tunnel. Alright, we can do that. So we need 1 wall. We have that. Hopper and 8 redstone. Tell me I have a hopper. Hey, I have a hopper. And I got spare walls, and I got redstone. So let's run back up and make a tunnel. And it's getting dark. What did that thing look like again? The wall, the thing, the surrounding, yada yada. Okay. Let's see if we can bust this out before we're swarmed by mobs. So we got that. We got that. And we got redstone. And we're outside. And we're shrinking. And here come the monsters, so just in time. And that makes 2 tunnels. And away we go. And now I'm taking my personal shrinking device and let's see, what wall is this? We want to put our tunnel in the north wall so it'll connect to that, just for testing purposes. So I right-clicked on it and boom, we are inside. Very nice. This is pretty darn cool, I have to say. And I put a tunnel there. And let's see, how do we, if we keep clicking on it, now we're telling it north, and it's saying we have 214 million FE, so we've got power. Sweet. So now we can cable power in here and do things. So I'm probably running sort of long on this video because this took me a bit longer than I thought, because it took me longer to get the miniaturization field at its maximum size, which was unnecessary but amusing. But yeah, I think the first thing I'm going to do here is, I don't know if this is where I'm going to put it, but and I might make a smaller one, make like a 5x5x5 one of these, and put our IC2 nuclear reactor in it, so that in the future I can just click into the thing. I'll have the armor stand and the armor in here, and then I can play with my fuels right then and there. Pretty darn cool. And then I think you just take the personal shrinking device and click on a wall to exit. And boom. And we can see now that we have that tunnel, we actually now have power going through that wall. And I think you can also, you can run other things through it. Like you can put, there's a special tunnel for redstone, but other than that, I think we could hook up, fluid ducts. I think we could hook up item ducts, but I think you can only have one tunnel on each face. So here's one face, and the other 5 faces of the cube could each have a tunnel. But you could have, items coming in one side and going out the other. You could have power coming in one side. You could have fluids coming in another. All sorts of stuff. And then you could pipe it around inside. So pretty darn cool. So this was sort of a just toys kind of episode. I looked at this interesting pearled ender hopper that teleports stuff into whatever chest you slap it on whatever face you slap it on. So that's sort of cool. Made our wireless crafting terminal, which is awesome. We made a wireless connector that actually beams a point to a wireless access point way over on the other side of our base and upstairs. So that's cool. Better than running cable up there. And of course we made a compact machine. And I'll probably make 2 or 3 more of these and play around with them a bit. And next episode, I'll show you, we'll have the nuclear reactor moved into one, and we'll figure out what else to do. So until next time, talk to you later. Bye.